Hi everyone, it's Lindenherz. Yeah, and after a long time, an unboxing. I really haven't done an unboxing for a long time. That doesn't mean that I haven't got any new decks. I was quite surprised that I got quite a lot of decks in 2017, although I haven't so much the budget for it. But I got a lot of decks in trades and so on. And but for some reason I didn't want to do unboxings. Maybe sometimes I think there are so many unboxings out there, you might just get tired of it. And if you're a person who is tired of unboxings, I would say skip that video. It's your time. You don't have to watch that. But I know a couple of people that I asked on Instagram when I took a photo of this parcel if I should do an unboxing. Said yes. So I'm doing it. And a lot of you will probably know what deck this is. And this is the perfect occasion to show you this beauty. This is also an image that I showed on Instagram, and which was quite a nice and synchronistic thing. A couple of weeks, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, I searched for something, and for some reason these a collection of spiritual postcards came into my hands that I totally have forgotten about. And then I saw this beauty here, and I wasn't sure. I thought, what kind of... I looked at it a little bit closer, much closer, and I found, it's by Carolyn Hillier, the creator of the Weaver's Oracle. And I thought, my gosh, how gorgeous is that to find that? So if you want to read that, I would suggest you pause now so you can read that. I hope you can read that now. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to read it the whole. It's a bit like a fable or something. Creation story, I should say. More creation story. And there's also something here on the bottom which you can't quite read the lighting at the moment. But it's going hand in hand with the thing on the other side. So this is The Fish in the Moon from Heron Valley, it says here in brackets. Yeah, but seventh wave music it was back then, 1995, you could say. It's really sometimes, she is an artist who comes a long way with her paintings and her art. And so finally I thought it's time for this one, and I was quite lucky to get my hands on it. And if you wonder, it's quite a funny thing here at the on top here. It says small parcel, and it's not so small at all. So I think, what else did she... actually I ordered 2, not a second copy for me, but a copy for my dear friend My Tarot 3, for Daniela, and we joined forces and ordered that. So I guess I will try to make my way to this giant parcel here. I guess there is some kind of here at the top. I guess I don't have to... I try to not to... Yeah, there it is. So let's see if I can open it here. So without... some bubble wrap. I really like to have bubble wrap because I'm the type of person who loves to reuse package material for her own shop. So if you ever have purchased or will purchase something from me, it could be that I'm using yeah, old puzzle material or package material. Cause yeah, for the resource friendliness, for instance. So why purchase something extra? I know you can do fancy packaging and get the perfect package for your items, but I also want to yeah, use the things that I have at hand, and if possible, I will use it. If not, I will have to order something extra. So let's see. Wow, this is a big thing here. I have to remove that here. So if you see this here now, this is actually really a cloth by my mom. She was quite an into angels, loved them. Not that she was religious or something, but she loved these chubby angels. We call them, when you get the figures of those angels, we call them, I don't know where the word is coming from in German, Putten. So we had quite some of them. So this is really good wrapped. So I try to, wow, and it's a lot of bubble wrap. I have some more for the next packages, and I will remove this one here, because thank you for your order. I hope you enjoy the Weaver's Oracle. With love from Carolyn. So to the side, and one here. Oh, look at that. Brand new baby. It's huge. I'm not sure if this comes across on camera, but my gosh, is it huge. At least to me now in 3D. And I have tons of bubble wrap for new products, especially for my finger labyrinth. These are perfect. So now let's dive into this one here. So let's see. Oh, look at that. I love good packaging. The thing is, I have found on her website that you yeah, could also, at least German folks can also buy this deck with a German guidebook. Which is translated into Das Orakel der Weberinnen. So, Weaver's Oracle. For some reason, for some reason I didn't. I should say I considered it for about a couple of seconds or minutes, maybe. More honest, a couple of minutes. And there are also excerpts on their on her website where you can read through. And for some reason I thought, okay, it's nice, but well, I guess I will get it in English anyway. It would be nice if there would be some offering of the guidebook, of the German guidebook as PDF or something in extra, as an extra thing that you could purchase or so. Or maybe, yeah, something like that. Or those who already purchased the Weaver's Oracle get it for yeah, lesser money, so to speak. But I thought, okay, I will go with it in the original language. Well, sorry. And try to make it a bit quicker here. Otherwise, I will be here until the morning. And again, sorry. Plastic. Wow. Wow, again. It's so huge. Yeah, I said it. And it feels quite nice. So smooth and so on. And the images alone. Sometimes things can only come across through the screen to some degree. Not sometimes you have to see it in person. I'm not sure if that makes sense, and I try to don't make it so. Now the big moment. Ta-da-da-da! Oh, and I love that there is a bag included. Yeah. It's always a struggle to find good bags. And there's the book. Oh my gosh. And this is coming off. Actually, yeah, I have seen it. Maybe I will glue it on the back. Maybe. Or we'll put it in there. This is a great box. Like I said, I'm a sucker for good boxes and good packaging. Yeah, only maybe not for myself, you could say, because I'm recycling. But when it comes to decks, of course. And I like it's quite an easy thing to open. Oh my gosh, look at that. I know some of you have maybe are getting tired of seeing this deck over and over again. Yeah, sorry if I'm bothering you with that. But yeah, you have to deal with that now. Be strong. And okay, that's the cardstock, and it feels really good. Now off with the knife. I really like that feel of it. It's quite, it's soft, and it's not so thick, but it's super. I like it. Oh my gosh, cards are just amazing. I will make a little break and come a bit closer to this. Or maybe I don't have to make a break. I can come closer to it by adjusting my tripod. Sorry for the wobble shaky thing here. But the thing is, when I'm focusing on this with the autofocus, not the autofocus, when I'm trying to get closer to it through the camera lens, the sound is changing for some reason, and I don't want to do that. This is so gorgeous here, created from the paintings, and I like that this is spiral bound. Yeah, this is what I've heard, that the spirals could have been bigger. I still think about getting a spiral, not a spiral binder, but some kind of spiral maker, if that makes sense. So I can do my own spiral books. And maybe when I will get something like that, I could replace them with bigger ones. So, wow, 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 wow. The paper is quite nice. And one thing I have to do, sniffing it. I am a book sniffer. Yeah, I confess it. I like the smell of new books, but I especially like the smell of old books. Especially old books like from the beginning of last century or so. They have a quite interesting, slightly sweet smell about them, and I like that. So I won't go into that here very extensively, because there are other videos that talk about that, like Kelly from the Truth and Story. I will go into the images. And look at that. She's quite fitting with the background here. Wow, look at her. She is really beautiful. And they feel really soft and smooth, the cards. It's quite a good cardstock. It's not so super thick, so it's okay. I guess it's better if they are not so hard, because when you have so large cards and they're so hard, they are quite a pain in the ass to shuffle. So these are really beautiful. I try to focus a bit more on them. Look at her and her tattoos. My, she has a look. My. Wow, what a crone. What a crone. Mother of time. Yeah, I guess I longed for this deck together with Daniela. We longed for the deck for quite a while, and some reasons kept us off. But now is the time. We actually wanted to use this deck in our challenge we did. Wow. In a challenge we did in October, which was actually 39 days challenge on Instagram, called the Triple Goddess Challenge, where we went through the 3 stages of the goddess, of womanhood, maiden, mother, and crone, and we asked questions, and there were intention setting rituals at the beginning of each of the stages, and we used for each of the stage. Wow! For each of the stage, we used a different deck, and we went with the for the maiden we went with the Dark Goddess. Mother, for the mother we used the Mother piece, and for the crone the Terror of Crone, and it was quite an intense challenge. Oh my gosh, she is looking rather like a mix between an alien and some kind of a fairy or fae or something. Very strange looking. Almost reminds me of images from Brian Froud from the Fairies Oracle. Wow. And here you could ask, is it a she or a he? There's also a kind of drawing style. It's a woman. Okay, old woman walks good. And I know there's a drawing. When I was a child, I loved a series that came with a book and a cassette, an audio cassette that was called Storyteller in English. We called it Erzähl mir was. And there were stories from all over the world. And there was also a northern story about the northern gods, so from northern mythology, about Thor and Loki and so on. And there were some giants actually that had some resemblance with her, which was quite interesting. And I loved the story. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. She is Sangi of the Moon woman. I have to, when I see that, I have to think about Yayy Louisa Tish, who wrote Jambalaya, which is about voodoo, and which is a great book and gives you great insight about voodoo. And yeah, for me it was a good introduction book to get to know that and read about her. And she's really a fascinating woman. She, I guess the first time I've seen her was on YouTube when she was, it's a video that was not long ago where she tells a myth about an African goddess. And then I saw her in a spiritual video back from the 70s or something. And there she told also the story of Yayy, and I've never came across a storyteller like her. She was so captivating, and really have to think about her when I look at that image. Try to make it quicker, yeah. Look at her. She looks like coming from, a little bit like coming from Mongolia or something. Grandmother Turtle. I like that. Wow, 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 wow. What faces. What faces. Grandmother's Weaver of the Wind. I like that each of the things that the weavers are holding, or so, that these came from actual real objects, and that these objects have a history, and this makes it even more wow. It's also another interesting face, and the color of her skin, like a little bit bluish, yeah. So it fits. She cuts Ice Witch. Okay. Wow. Ancestors of the Remembered Home. I really like the feel of that. It's really smooth and a bit silky. I wonder if you can see. After a little bit of use, if you can see fingerprints on them. I guess no. Wow, this is also quite an intense image. So, like you see, nudity is a thing in this deck, but it's done in a tasteful way, I think, and in a real way. So here you feel like you're looking at real people. not so much these idealized people. I have to say I'm not so fond anymore of especially feminine decks where the feminine figure is idealized. So where you always have perfect skin and perfect hips, and you're not a bit of fat on those depictions of women. So don't like that. Wow, this is wow. This is amazing. Owl, Cold Earth Home. I'm really interested in these myths around. Wow, this is interesting here with the bird feet, or maybe buzzard feet. Wow, she looks on fire a little bit. But okay, the Twisted Hazel. Oh. There are really some powerful depictions, and this deck would have been really nice for the Triple Goddess Challenge. And actually, Daniela and I are thinking of redoing this challenge. Wow, okay. She is a beauty, my gosh. Like her skirt. Yeah, Daniela and I are thinking of redoing this challenge next year again. Coming up with some new questions and maybe new decks. We will see. Maybe this will be part of it. But what I'm thinking about how to use this deck is for the upcoming Rauhnächte. Like I said to you, I will use the German word for it. Sorry if this is a bit rumbly here, because I'm searching for a book here about one of the books I'm using. Maybe we'll use, we'll see. It's one of them I bought a couple of years ago about the 12 Nights of Yule, or 12 Nights of Christmas actually. But I will use it, for the Rauhnächte, and I'm considering doing them from the beginning of the winter solstice and not from Christmas. So we will see. And this book is like with little, meditations, you could say. Maybe I would say visualizations. So they call them fantasy journeys. And isn't she? My gosh. This deck will be perfect for that. So for each of the 12 nights, I will draw, wow. Sorry. Getting dried mouth, actually. For each of the 12 nights, I will draw one of the weavers as guidance for the next 12 months. I'm not sure if I use another deck except the weavers, maybe runes. I'm not sure. Sorry. Oh my gosh, it's really beautiful. Wow, wow, wow. And this is also, when I saw this in the video of the Truth and Story, I was also quite captivated by her. My gosh. It is simply stunning artwork. And it will be so fitting for the Rauhnächte. Perfect for reflection, for going inside, for traveling inside, for soul journey, and letting go of the old year, welcoming the new. I guess this deck will be perfect. Wow. This is actually one of the, there were other younger faces, but this is one of the younger faces. And I have to say, one of my favorite books at the moment that I'm reading, or should I say listening all over and over again, is called The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. And this is a this is a book that came out 3 years ago or 4 years ago or something. And I discovered it now as an ebook, not an ebook. Also an ebook. I also have it as an ebook. But now as an Audible book. and I'm re-listening to it now for the third time, I have to say, and some simply magical, powerful story. And for some reason, this lady here reminds me of the snow child, or the snow maiden. We call it das Schneemädchen in German, and she reminds me a bit of her, and the older version of her. If you have never read it and you're living in the northern hemisphere where it's snowing or something, grab yourself a beverage, get the copy of this book. If you're lucky, I'm not sure if you're getting it on Amazon.com, because here on Amazon Germany, it was, guess 2 days ago, you could get that book for just €1, under €1, so maybe a bit more, or less than $1 or something. And I would say go and check the Snow Child by Eowyn. So Eowyn like Eowyn from the Lord of the Rings, Ivy like Ivy, in Poison Ivy. And read that book. It's such a perfect book for winter. Oh my gosh, this will be so many powerful women. Like a council of women that you always have with you. I know some people were considering getting it, but thought that this deck might be too close to the I tried to Wisdom Keeper's Oracle. Try to remember the Wisdom Keeper's Oracle, but I don't think so. It's the same ancestral energy, maybe a bit more wilder to some degree, a bit more from the wilderness. Oh my gosh. I guess I have to stop now for a moment because my camera will slowly but surely die out. And I come back, and you have to take this in, this video. I guess I will come back, and we'll see us very soon. And back. I'm really blown away by the colors and by the expression on the faces. Definitely, so far from the first impression alone, definitely worth the money. I know this is not necessarily a cheap deck, but it's independently published, and I think it moves within the price range that you would expect from an independent published deck. So I think this is money worth spending. And like I said, from my first impression alone, this not necessarily feels like the same like the Wisdom Keeper's Oracle. Not at all. At least not to my feel from what I'm from the first impression. It's a bit more. It has more. I would say there is more shamanic nature in this one here for more deep journeying. So where the Wisdom Keepers are also very good for everyday things, for everyday stuff. I would say this is a deck that goes for, or is for deep journeying, for deep soul journey. For a deep soul journey or journeying. I'm coming back to German again. And I like the diversity in this deck also. This is from all cultures and races, and I really appreciate that. I know a couple of months ago, I read I guess it was on a video from last year, I'm not quite sure. It was about the Gaian Tarot, and where I said that I don't feel that the Gaian Tarot is too Caucasian that it is quite diverse. And there was a comment on the video that talked about that everyone who is complaining that tarot is so white should remember that tarot started white, that it's a European tradition and so on and so forth. Yeah, I guess I replied something, this is something I can understand, but that doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. This is my personal opinion. Only because some things started in one way, it don't mean that it's a static thing. Otherwise, it would be dogmatic, and I don't like that at all. This is the reason why I choose the spiritual path I'm on, because I don't want a dogma, and I don't like dogma I also don't like dogma in tarot. So why not go different ways and explore it further? We are quite multicultural in most of the Western countries, and so we have to embrace these people, see their needs, and bring them in our circle, and not necessarily say stay out there. This is a constant discussion within my family-in-law, I have to confess, because of the things that are going on here in Germany with the refugees that are coming in, and the kind of way the media is portraying it is unfortunate, I have to say. Unfortunate, and it inflames hatred and misunderstanding. And this is something I'm very concerned about, very concerned. And when I see people that are close to my heart talking about things that leave me, yeah, in agony is maybe too hard, but I feel, I should say, I feel heartbroken when I hear things that I would definitely put in, it's hard to explain. What I would consider to be, I should say it by the name, consider to be a racist or racism. Maybe some people that talk about that aren't the kind of people who go to be active or something, or go there and be aggressively active. That is not the case with those where I've witnessed that. But when you see it in people who are kind at heart actually, and have these kind of thoughts, this leaves me with sometimes little hope for the rest of my country. And this is also something that I witness around, not the world necessarily, but around Europe. This kind of right-wing movement, this we are we and we don't want you here. And one of the worst, sorry if this is out of topic here now, maybe, but these are the concerns that come up for me a lot nowadays. When I hear words or constructions like how we put them, how you could put them in English, economic refugees. We call them Wirtschaftsflüchtlinge, which is a word that I cannot stand at all. I cannot stand that word. When I hear that, my alarm goes on, but really on, and I'm mostly quiet. I have to breathe and listen. This is the thing that is really something that is bothering me, because quite often when I hear something like that, and when I hear things that I consider to be racist and consider to be racistic, it's not the word, no, racism, consider to be part of racism, I go off. And I mean really off. I get really, really angry and enraged, I have to say. And I try to find more calmer way to approach people like that. these people are not always, they're not all dumb or something like that, or stupid or so. Maybe they don't have all the facts. Maybe you can come to them when you, or approach them when you talk to them, because otherwise we would all go and bash each other, the crap out of each other. And this is not the thing how we can approach that. We can approach that problem. Well, this goes too far maybe, but this is something that comes to my mind. We are such a diverse race, and when I say race, I mean all of us, the human race. And there's so much to embrace. I have to say, I don't think that I am sometimes free of ideas that are maybe, I don't know, is it the word racistic? We should call it racistisch. I don't know if I'm always free of that. I'm certainly have sometimes my prejudices, and sometimes even positive prejudices are not the best. But I try my best, so to speak. I try my best to find my way around them, and try to ask myself, why am I thinking how I'm thinking at the moment? Is that fair? You don't know the other one the other one with the other skin color. You don't know even your neighbor. Sometimes you don't know. And I'm sometimes, and I include all people, sometimes I have to confess, I don't like my fellow human people here around me, or in general, especially when there are too many of them. I get quite aggressive, I have to say. But most of the time I try to breathe and calm myself down and try to say, these people are not different than me. They also have their problems and try to find their way in this quite fast-paced world. And so I try to change my perspective. And that is the way we should approach also people who aren't at the moment willing to change their perspective, or don't think they could embrace another perspective. But at least this is something we should try. I don't know if that makes sense, or if I tell nonsense or something. But these are some things that really circling around my mind in the last year, I should say. And this is coming up when I look at all the wonderful people here in this, the wonderful women from all around the world, from all cultures, and think there's so much to embrace and to learn from each other. I know here in Germany, some people think, but we lose our German culture. But to be honest, we are already multicultural. We couldn't say what kind of things are typical German. I know people from other countries would say certain things that are typical German, but many things that considered to be that are nowadays a mishmash of every culture that comes into the country, and this is a good way. Otherwise, we would be still the kind of Prussian, stiff kind of people who are humorless or something. And only known for being, how do you call, pünktlich? This is always the cliche of a German, that we always write on time. And let me tell you, I'm not always right on time. No, that's not my virtue, I have to say. And a lot of these virtues that considered to be German were Prussian virtues, actually, back from the beginning of the last century. So I think we can only win. We can only win by embracing other cultures and bringing in new ideas, new ways of thinking, learn from each other. I've once oh my gosh, look at her. She is really amazing. I have once did on Pinterest a pinboard of all the gorgeous faces around the world. I collected men, women, children of all, women and men of all ages and so on, of all races, of all skin color, collected images there and made a pinboard of them. And I was sometimes moved to tears about how diverse, and I felt so connected to all of the people, to all of these faces. And sometimes, I guess, we really should remember that. We should remember, come back to that, see that there is more than just us, just the small view that you can only take in your life from if that makes sense, from what's around you. You only see a little bit of it. And sometimes that's the positive thing about the World Wide Web, that you can look and see the world and see what we're made of and what's beautiful about us. Sometimes we tend to forget, especially when you look or watch the news. When you watch the news, you only get depressive, to be honest. And I have to say, for a long time, I haven't watched the news. I listen to radio. I rarely watch TV. I was quite a nerd for TV series back, I guess, before I met my husband. He wasn't so much into watching series or TV series or something. He wasn't a nerd. And I started to unlearn that. I still watch some certain things that I like, but not everything. And sometimes what really concerns me is how much we find entertainment in not only movies, also series, I guess, movies and series, and maybe also video games. I'm not an expert in video games, where it's okay to have or to see so much violence, where violence is used in a way that I'm not quite sure how to put it, but it's an all in all concern, to be honest, to see when people are raving about movies and series where you see things and consider them to be some form of entertainment, and think, at least I think that's, I'm not sure if that's the right direction, because we call this, when you watch too much of this, abstumpf, you get numb to some degree, numb to suffering of the real suffer of the world. This suffer gets popularized. I know this might not be everyone's cup of tea, I know, but I said, with these weavers here in front of me, it was quite a way to be honest, actually. I guess this is maybe also the quality of this deck, to be honest with yourself and with those around you. So I thought this might be, now in backside, I think it was a good idea to share with you my thoughts on certain things. So, I don't want to make it any longer. Thank you if you made it until here. And I would be very happy to hear your thoughts on the deck, maybe also thoughts on what I've said, so we can get a little exchange. I would really look forward to that. So I wish you all the best, and we will see us in the next Vlogmas video, maybe tomorrow or the day after, I will see. And I still will do, I guess I will do a little bookshelf tour of my spiritual books and share with you some of the beauties there, and some of the gorgeous photo books I have of wonderful trees and herbs and so on. So we will see us very soon. Bye.